Howdy, and welcome to What I Wish I Could Say, the heartfelt, humorous podcast hosted by me, April Spencer. Today, we are talking about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Season 3, Episodes 9 and 10. And we have our guest star, Madison Leigh Attrell. Welcome, Madison.
Hello.
We are doing a double header right now. So we just finished episode 4, and we're turning around and doing episode 5 right now. So we're going to skip like all the intro stuff and just go straight into episode 9. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay, so episode 9 starts with Taylor finding out about Dakota, whatever, having some kind of weird sexual relationship with her mom's friend. And the quote I wrote down that broke my heart because she's like getting ready to do all this press for season 2 when all this is happening. And the quote I wrote down that says everything, and I think anybody needs to know about Dakota. Every time something exciting happens, it gets ruined by Dakota. Um, for me, that just like broke my heart because I've definitely I've seen friends be in relationships like that, and it's so disheartening when like a man like can't let you like focus on like the good things that are going in your life because he has to make it about himself.
Yeah, it really sucks for her because this is such an exciting time, and she got some really cool, awesome opportunities that she was excited about, and then she has this just sitting on her and fresh and not able to. Yeah, it sucks in general, but the timing is the worst.
Yeah. And it seems like, it's like it says, she said it's every time this happens, like not just this time. It's every time something exciting happens.
Yeah,
And it's like, you got to throw that whole man away, you know?
I do. I have that note for episode 9. Throw Dakota in the garbage. That's my note. That's all.
Yeah. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully this is what makes it stick.
Yeah.
Um, oh, the next thing I wrote down, they're doing a bunch of press for the season, and Taylor, I didn't realize she does her own makeup. I thought that was cool. Um, and she was very cordial to Demi. I think she was again like trying to be a leader and everything. They showed them like getting ready and Demi coming in and saying, "Oh, you do your own makeup?" And she's like, "Yeah, I always do." So I thought that was cool.
I feel like those type of interactions have shown how much growth she's had since the beginning. Because in the beginning, her behavior was very much like I feel like it was a little bit more childish, a little bit more drama and self-centered. And I feel like now she's really turned a leaf and is focused on like how can I be like a mediator to see if we can like do things and talk about things in a less heated environment. And I do give her mad props for putting as much effort in as she has, and I think that she's doing a good job with, I mean, all things considered.
Yeah, it's like that's something that I like had to learn through therapy, and it like took a really long time for it to sink in. But like what I feel like she's also learned through therapy is like we really are all much better versions of ourselves when we are calm and regulated. I think there's like some people, like maybe it's people with anxious attachment or something, I don't know, like some people, we're like raised with this idea that like if you're not like angry and heated and like passionate, that means that you don't care. And we also have this like flip side belief that if people aren't listening to us when we're angry and passionate and loud, that means they don't care.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like it's a really hard lesson to learn, but I feel like Taylor is learning it very well that like, no, actually we're all much better versions of ourselves when we take care of ourselves first to the point that we can be calm.
Okay.
Um, and she's applying that really well with mom talk. I guess it takes some time for her to figure that out in her like romantic relationships, but I think she is figuring that out too. That like Dakota makes her like dysregulated all the time, and that's not actually exciting or sexy or fun. It's ruining her, you know?
Yeah, dysfunction. I think that that's a really good point because like if you think about this whole season, like most of her interactions have been very calm and kind of collected and regulated, and then the times that you've seen her get a little fired up and upset and like all that, it all ends up being with Dakota.
Yeah.
I think that you were saying, like Macy was saying, like he brings out like the worst. Like it's yeah. I think that she has done an excellent job as a person growing in the friendships and managing those friendships. Romantically, I'm agreeing with you. Maybe not quite there yet,
Yeah.
but there's hope because she's done really great with the friends, the friend ones. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like she's learning like how it feels like now it's like she has this piece with mom talk, and then it's like the thing in my life that's still messing me up and causing me to feel this dysregulation is him.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah,
Like Whitney and Miranda had a very short conversation, and what I wrote was Miranda's very articulate. I like that she can be cordial with Whitney, but stands strong about Demi because they're talking about Demi.
yeah. I
Okay.
I really think I know that there was like all that time where they were like, is Miranda going to be part of Mom Pack? Is she not? I do think that she is a good fit with based off of what I've seen. I think that she is a good like addition to the group because I feel like she has a calm head. And I mean, there were those few times, and I think that it is in this episode that she does get a little bit heated on some things, but I think overall, um, like she is one of the ones that is calmer, and I feel like she can have those cordial kind of relationships and not get super like fired up. So I do like that she's able to talk with them, and yeah, having that conversation about Demi and with Whitney and yeah,
Yeah, I really like Miranda too. I think she brings a really good energy to the group, and I'm glad that they let her in. I was a little worried because she kind of seemed like she wasn't sure she wanted to be in the group for a while, and I kind of empathize with that because they were really like
talk,
dysfunctional and toxic, yes.
yeah,
Um, but I'm glad that she's in. I think it's good for everybody, and like her birthday party like sealed it for me that she's like so cool
yeah.
because I thought the whole like wigs and everybody dressing up like her thing was really funny, and she's like I thought it like every party that they've had on the show looks like a wedding to me.
Over the top, wild, yeah,
Yeah, it's like they're like literal like formal flowers, and they're like at these like really fancy venues and stuff, and it's like this does not look fun. You guys are just like here looking really pretty in a really formal setting, like acting like crazy people because there's nothing better for you to do than to like yell at each other. And
yeah,
then Miranda's like I always want to like please my inner child, so we're gonna go to the arcade. And I'm like, that's so healthy.
yeah.
Like, I
We
love it.
we go from renting out like a high, bar type thing for a what was it like a divorce? Was it a divorce party
Yeah, that was
for
season 1 or 2
yeah
with
for like Layla?
Layla.
Yeah, like going from that to let's go to a dingy arcade and it's a vibe. Like, come on, who doesn't want to? I mean, yeah, that's got to be a lot more fun and a lot less stressful. Could you imagine trying to plan something that's that wild and ornate coming off of just planning a wedding? Like, no, thank you. Like,
Right?
absolutely not.
It's a reason it's like that's like a once in a lifetime thing. Like it's really fun and like special, but like you don't
Yeah.
want to do that every weekend. And
Gosh,
then
no, yeah.
like like even like Michaela's birthday party, they said she's like, "Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day themed because my birthday is like around St. Patrick's Day." And I'm like, "Cool, maybe this will be a fun party." And then no, it's literally like on a rooftop, formal flowers at a St. Patrick's Day party, and everybody's like at those little standing cocktail tables and like all dressed up, and I'm like, guys, like have a beer, like Calm down.
Yeah. Like, where are my friends that have parties like that? Like, geez. No, I'm definitely more of a let's hang out, let's do games, let's do like yeah. So I think that Miranda's party was probably more fun. I feel like maybe it's that she's a little bit less showy than the other girls. Like it's not a whole production.
Yeah.
I feel like she's a little bit, and I know that we don't maybe know her as well as some of the others, but like I feel like she is less like everything is a show. And
Yeah. Yeah, she's just like there to like do the fun dances and like
yeah,
hang out with everybody and have fun. And I think that's
right.
definitely a healthy energy to have in this group.
Yeah.
I just thought it was also cool, like seeing her the later when she talks with Demi. I felt like she was so brave in that scene too. And it's like really cool to see her like, yeah, she's fun and she like, doesn't like the drama. She's like, get it away from me. But when it comes to like her principles and she's like actually challenged, she's super articulate and stands her ground really well. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Demi, there's the scene where Demi is in the car with Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she's like, why do they keep talking about me and talking about Marciano and me? And I just wrote, because you keep posting about how they won't support you. And she says, it affects them zero. That's how she puts it. Like, it doesn't affect them at all. Why are they still talking about it? And it's like, you dragged them into it. Like, yes, it does affect them. Yeah, that whole scene was really frustrating to me. What do you think?
Yeah, just kind of stirring the pot. And it's, I don't know, a little bit of it's almost to me like even like bad attention is good. It gives me a little bit of those vibes of like, I'm bringing something back up, and yes, it can cause drama, but I'm back at the top of people's feeds, or I've got a bunch of people that are going to be clicking on it and being like, "Ooh, what's the story of that?" And then going to be looking at all of my other stories to see, you know, if I can like do detective dive into what she's talking about. Like, I feel like some of it is probably a little bit for social media. I mean, obviously because they're social media people, but I don't know that whole thing kind of. I am not a social media person. I don't really post much. I don't like. I'm just there scrolling, and some of these things it just makes me go like, there's a time and a place for certain things, and I don't necessarily know like people that post every little thing and like people that are trying to get that attention. Like it doesn't really quite make sense to me
Hmm.
because it's not something that like my brain really does or likes to do. Um, but yeah, I feel like some of it's just the reason why they're talking about you is because you keep on bringing it up, you keep on putting it out there, you're getting the attention. Like that's not a hard question to answer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little delusional. I like your point about like her being, calculated about her like social media strategy and everything. I think obviously all of them are because they're all really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's their livelihood. I do think that there is an aspect with Demi that comes across really, really inauthentic and harsh. And my speculation is that it kind of comes from her husband
Mm.
because like I always thought it was like weird in season two. We got the story that came out about her like basically trying to push Jesse out of the cast so that everybody could have more money,
Mm-hmm.
and that all seemed to be really driven by Brett. Like he was on the call, he was the one like saying a bunch of stuff like that, and like we don't care about Jesse, and like I feel like there are other points in season two, like Demi, like in season two, tries to kick Jen out of the group. She tries to kick Whitney out of the group, and then she tries to kick Taylor out of the group, all in like one season. And that's not even counting the whole Jesse thing, like that happened before the season started. And it's like I don't know. I feel like she also with the whole Taylor thing, she like really thought that that was going to work in season two, that she was going to be able, like she like thought that everybody was on her side, and it was just like so obvious to me that they were not. And every time she was like, lecturing people on and on about like how terrible Taylor is and how we have to get her out, like people were like glazed over, or like at one point she was like, oh, let me say one more thing and then I'll finish. And Layla literally was like, finally, like she does not like keep a good temperature on the group, and like tries to make these really aggressive moves that are like always in the justification is always like money, and like this is our business and we don't want somebody representing our business poorly. She even said like Taylor's disgusting, like we don't want her
Mm-hmm.
to, and I just felt like it came across like, dare I say, very masculine, very aggressive, very like zero sum game, like kick them all out so that there's only a few, and they like don't it's like a fundamental misunderstanding of mom talk, because
Mm-hmm.
mom talk is successful because of the connections and the
The
friendships
collaboration, yeah. I feel
and the
like
collaboration. Yeah.
I think that that's a really good way to put it. I feel like how I was going to explain it is I feel like she is like trying to self-appoint herself as the leader and nobody else is buying into it.
Yeah.
And like that's like previous seasons, that's kind of how I felt of like, dude, just sit down. Like, and there's always the person in like the group projects and stuff that's like decides to take over, and you're like, dude, you're no, like this is not how the rest of the group wants to go, or this isn't the direction. Like just because you're talking the loudest does not mean you're correct or that we agree with you. So yeah, and I think it in episode 1 of this season they broke down who all she was trying to get rid of, and every time that she was doing it, it was like Demi wanted to get rid of this person, she wanted to get rid of this person, she wanted to get rid of this person. I'm like, so even if you haven't watched season 1 and season 2, you can kind of get the vibe of like she's she's kind of the problematic one trying to kind of stir the pot and get rid of people. And I know that like Jen has had a lot of problems with her, and it's just yeah, a lot of stuff back and forth.
Yeah. And yeah, I just my point in saying all that is just like I can't prove it, but my speculation is that a lot of that aggressive energy and that like zero sum game mentality
Mm-hmm.
is coming from Brett. And that's why she can't like stop herself and go, "Hey, I don't think the group is actually on my side on this vote against Taylor. Maybe I should shut up." It's like she's got him in her ear telling her like, "You need to do this."
So
And yeah.
is your opinion of like it's a childish type of relationship, and that like a parent child relationship, like you know how whenever you're raised your parents tell you like this is the truth and you don't really have anything else to go on, so you go off of like, okay, yes, this is the truth and I'm going to tell everybody that this is the truth because like that's what I've been told, like that he's kind of like the puppet and she's not really thinking for herself and making her own opinions and he's kind of got control of it? Or do you think it's like more of like maybe he's like hyping her up and like encouraging maybe the negative thoughts, or putting like maybe some of these not so great ideas in her head? Like what do you mean by that?
I think what it comes across to me as is she's like parroting these very like aggressive old school
Mm-hmm.
like businessman ideas, and looking at this TV show as kind of how you would look at a reality show in like the early aughts, where
Okay.
it's like get in, get as much fame as you can, like try to box other people out of the way. It's one person is the star, and then like just get out with as much clout as you possibly can because this is a short term thing. And I know that Brett was in has been on reality TV shows like in the past 20 years. Like he was on The Bachelorette, he was on something else before that. Um and it's like I get this like old school like vibe from, and very masculine vibe from Demi, that doesn't seem to fit with the rest of her personality when she's like, like in the she doesn't really have this in season three, but in seasons one and two, you know, there were a lot of like friendship scenes with her and different people and like Jesse and everything. And you see this like soft side of her
Hmm.
that really wants to be loved, you know, like I think she really wants people to like love her and trust her. But I think maybe, I don't know if it's a parent child dynamic. I don't know if it's just like a like internalized misogyny dynamic or what, but I feel like she's trusting Brett's like very old school mentality about like what mom talk is and what it's good for.
Hmm.
And she's not trusting herself and her friends in that they're like, no, this is something new that we've created and it has longevity and it's based on collaboration and
No,
not competition, you know?
no, I see what you're saying. It's kind of like, yeah, the man. She's got more of like the man's way of trying to play the game whenever maybe that is not what she would normally, how she may normally be playing it if he wasn't there, type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't blame it on him if he didn't have his fingers in the pie in so many instances too. Like he was brought up on that call with Jesse as being, or about Jesse as being like super aggressive. Um, he also is the one that's like driving by Jesse's house and like,
It's
you know, doing
creepy.
all that creepy, weird
Creepy.
stuff. Like he seems like way too into it. Um, and like the other husbands seem more like they're like supporting their wives by like being stay-at-home dads and like, you know, doing little dad talk things on the side or whatever, but like the mom talk thing is like driven by the women for the most part and the other couples from what I can tell. But like Brett is like really involved in Demi and like there was also that scene, I can't remember if it was season one or season two, where Demi was gonna go in the hot tub topless with a bunch of the other women and then Brett called and was like, no, you can't do that. And it was like framed as a business thing. And she like told everybody that she was like gonna do it. And then she was like, well, Brett reminded me that like we need to negotiate for something like that, you know? And it's like, it just makes me feel like he is very much in her head and like in her ear when it comes to like her businessy view of mom talk, if that makes sense.
I think that it does. I would almost say, I think it's this one. It might have been the last episode um, where Jen was talking about the cease and desist, and she mentioned Demi's manager called her. If she hadn't said Demi's manager, I would almost think like he, I could see like that type of relationship being like husband manager type thing with like how he's like, I could totally like that kind of is like a vibe that I think maybe is a little bit in line with what you're saying. But I mean, since they mentioned she had another manager, that's not the case. So debunked on that theory. But yeah, like it is a very odd, it's a very odd level of engagement and involvement that he has.
Right. Yeah, it's just like the things that he's doing specifically, like
Yeah.
driving by people's houses and
That's
stuff.
just creepy. That's just
It's like
creepy.
why do you shouldn't be this involved, you know? Um, so I don't know. It is speculation, but I think, you know, time will tell. But I'm actually really looking forward to the reunion because it looks like Brett does talk a lot. I've in the clips that I've seen for the season three reunion, and I'd like to kind of get like a better read on him because maybe it's totally unfair, and Demi is just she just happens to be a very like aggressive businesswoman herself. But I would like to kind of get a better idea of his personality because it just feels like old school. It feels very like masculine and it doesn't vibe with like because like Demi was like shocked that it didn't work when she tried to kick Taylor out and like the what I see on her face a lot in season three is like disappointment and confusion that like this ploy didn't work and I'm just like I just can't believe that she would be so like like I don't know.
confident in her persuasiveness to. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like something's missing that like if she, I just feel like if she was on her own, just like acting on her own,
Yeah,
she would have picked up on the like tides turning against her so much faster.
I just
But it's
I yeah, not to be a man hater, but I see 100% like how you're explaining that. I see that as like there are men that, like, for example, I have in my job that I try to explain to them like that's not how it works, and they say, you know, do it this way, and that's like they're asking a
yeah.
question, and I'm like, I've already told you twice that it doesn't work. Like, that's not how it's going to, like, you can tell me to do it again, but at the end of the day my answer is still the same. Like, it's those people that are like still surprised that they've told you 3 times even though you've politely told them it doesn't work like that, and then they're shocked at the end of the day of, oh, like, they're not going to do what I told them to do. Like, I think that a little bit of that is kind of what's happening. And yeah, I think that maybe she has him in her ear that's making her a little bit different and a little bit less. But I agree. I think that maybe, but then also it kind of makes me wonder, like, they started this mom talk as, wasn't it like a COVID thing? Or was it after COVID? I don't know.
I don't know.
They started it as like to be like for fun.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's a big show. They have all sorts of brand deals. They're getting a lot like of money off of it. Like, at what point in each of their individual brains does it switch over from this is fun, this is a hobby, to my behavior needs to change, the way we do things need to change, because this is no longer a hobby, it's a business, it's my livelihood. So what I was doing and how I was acting whenever it was fun and games, now this is more real. There's more, heaviness to it. So I mean, I think that if I were in that position with them, like, I could see potentially getting a little bit more assertive and
Yeah.
aggressive on the ways that I would, because I wouldn't want somebody to potentially jeopardize like my job, my livelihood, being able to put food on the table for my family type of thing. Like, I could see that, but I agree. I feel like it's a little bit over the top, and maybe it doesn't quite like make sense, like the things that she's doing and what she's asking and what she's trying to push for with what everything else is.
Yeah, because it's like you see it with like Whitney and Macy even I think like they're very strategic with like turning it from fun into business. Like, and that's like a huge theme in season 3 with Whitney is like she's like it's not a sisterhood, it's business only. But I have never had any doubt that that idea is coming straight from Whitney, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm like Connor is not the one driving that situation.
Yeah.
And same with Macy. I feel like she's very strategic. She has her book deal. She has her baby mama business. Like she's like using Mom Talk and all of these businesses in like collaboration with one another to like turn herself into a kingpin.
Hmm.
But again, I feel like it's all coming from her, you
Yeah.
know?
It's just a little odd because I feel like women stereotypically that like, and maybe this is just my experience, but like women that are in relationships with men that are like that and that are so assertive end up, I feel like they end up being the opposite. Like, they end up being a
Mm,
little bit more meek and not super assertive because there's
mm.
somebody always there that's being assertive. So I think it's almost a little bit weird if you like, if I like thinking about it like from like a traditional like relationship, that she is also potentially like, he could be the aggressive one, and she is now also the aggressive one, whenever I would stereotypically think that like he's a lot, so she's going to be kind of more mellow, and
Right,
that's not the
right.
case. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said earlier like maybe he's hyping her up and like
Yeah.
I definitely see that like maybe that is like part of their dynamic is he like encourages her like you are the leader, like you like are the best one, these other people like he literally over the phone we hear him
Yep.
call
Yeah.
little white trash, and So it's like, and I could see that like speaking to her like hurt self, that like, oh, he thinks I'm great and thinks that I'm better than all these other women, and she doesn't stop to go, it's a red flag that he's like disparaging other people in comparison to me, you know?
I think that it could almost be looked at it as like maybe a little bit too supportive in a negative way. His responses were very overly aggressive rather than just like forget about them, they don't matter. Like it was more, I don't know, I feel like it was like more like pummeling him, like beating him down, like type of thing. And so yeah, I think that it makes me wonder how much of it is Demi and how much of it maybe is the persuasion that maybe potentially her husband has over him. I don't know. But
Yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, she's an adult. She's letting him influence her. Like it's not, it's still her responsibility. It doesn't absolve her of anything. It's just, I think it's an interesting thing to note that like she's not, she's different from all the other women in Mom Talk in the way that like I think she doesn't actually believe in herself and her perception of things. And she's letting potentially this man, like she's trusting him to perceive things for her, if that makes sense, and to like counsel her instead of letting her own judgment like guide her, you know?
yeah, it's almost like kind of like you're unsure of yourself and need like the approval and the, my words are not wording right now, but like the, you know, the support and the confirmation of like, yes, this opinion is correct. And like, maybe that's what it is that like, maybe she doesn't, isn't confident enough in her opinions and that his opinions and thoughts and stuff maybe take over, and maybe the loudest one in the room gets heard type of thing in their relationship. So she hears it and then adapts to it. Or I don't know, maybe it's like a, hey, I have this opinion and I'm doing this because this is what I was told and it keeps the peace in my house type of thing. I mean, it could be really anything with that, but it does make you wonder if, I mean, it makes you wonder what each of the women would be like without their husbands. Now, some of the husbands are great and supportive and other ones not so much, but like if some of them were gone, like what, how would their personalities change?
That's a really good question. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was the ET interview, where they're all sitting there and Jen is like
Yeah.
talking about the cease and desist thing.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that?
I kind of agreed. I think it was Whitney afterward that was like, that's a little unprofessional. Like, I agree that maybe that wasn't the time and place to bring it up because like nothing else had been mentioned about it before. And maybe that's just because like they didn't have it in the show. But I don't know if that was time in place for that conversation. And um, I mean, she had to have known that saying that was going to get a rise out of everything and cause drama. There's no world that she can say that and get away with it. Like, so, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if we're going there. I mean, there's also part of me that like wonders, like, what does the production team tell them? Like, do they tell them, hey, cause some drama here, we want more views? Like, do they ever, is how much of this, like, because I don't feel like it's super scripted or anything like that, but like how much of some of these things for the press, like that, like the drama, like that is like Secret Life of Mormon Wives, like it is drama, like it is, like that's all it is. And so if you don't have that like little bit of drama in the press, like does that deter people? Because people are there for their drama. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it was something that was planned, maybe not. I personally, if we are talking about it from a professional setting and all of that, like time, not place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think it was a trap. And I love your thought of the like with the producers. Like I think The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives producers are really good in that, like, I don't think about them as much as I do in other reality shows. When I talk about other reality shows, I'm like constantly talking about the producers because I can see their machinations and like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. The producers of Secret Lives are really good, I think, because they're like particularly quiet. But I do think they wouldn't be reality TV show producers if they weren't poking bears and stoking fires and everything. And I
Yeah.
could totally see them like, especially like when somebody I think of like Jen. Jen, love her. She's a little shit stirrer sometimes. She's a Gemini, and you can see it. Um, and like when she brought up that cease and desist thing, I could totally see it being a situation where she like brings it up to a producer first and is like, "Should I do this?" And they're like, "Yeah." you know? And then it's like a perfect little trap for Demi because she falls into the traps like that all the time. And like she was the one that ended up looking like a psycho, being like, pull it up on your phone. Like, but yeah, you're right. There's no way that Jen like didn't think that was gonna get a rise out of her, you know?
Yeah. And I think that the producers have it easy and maybe don't have to poke a lot of things just because they are already, look, you're putting how many ever 7 women in a room with each other all the time. Like, you know that it's going to be problematic. Like, so like, I think that they kind of have it a little bit easier in that way. But I feel like from a press, especially a press perspective, they're going to want a little bit of something, something to be
Yeah,
in interviews and live, like give people a taste of, oh, what's going on here? Like, what's the drama behind this? I better watch and see what's going on. Like, so I could definitely see that happening. But yeah, you know that she had to have said it to get the rise out of her. And I do think that it made Demi look like the kind of aggressive one. And I think that I also didn't really like how she like brought it up like, I don't know how to, like, under her breath type of thing, like as in like, oh, like I'm gonna say this, but I'm not gonna go into it further. And then I'm gonna say this.
yeah, I
I'm
hate
not gonna
that.
I'm not gonna talk about it further. And then she starts talking about, like, I don't like it when people do that, like they're trying to like bait you. I'm like,
100%. Yeah.
dude, yeah. So I'm also not a beat around the bush type of person. So like it's, I don't like the little short, like, stop making me like, don't try to get me guessing. Like, I don't care for that. Like, so yeah, I don't know how much of it was her just being, like you said, a shit stir, or how much of it was like people saying, hey, yo, do it, or, you know, if it just slipped out. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she would have looked like the bad guy if Demi had just like not reacted to it or had reacted in a more like, I don't know what you're talking about or something, like calm, kind of like whatever. But the way Demi reacted, she fell right into the trap. She's done it many times.
It's like they, it, some of them maybe were not prepped for, like, what is it whenever, I mean, you know, these things, whenever you go to court and you're put on the stand and you have to do, you know, the prep with the lawyers. So like the other lawyers, whenever you're doing cross, like they're like how to keep calm and how not to give into like what they're trying to bait you to say. Like, it's
Right,
like she's had none of that training on how to do that and how to keep your cool and being like, hey, this is going to come up, and if this comes up, do this. Like, it's like
right,
none of that. It's very untrained on the how to respond to shots fired at you,
right.
how to not make
Yeah,
yourself look crazy.
that's a really good point that I didn't really think about. Like, I will have to think about that at the reunion because people do look a lot worse when they're untrained. Um,
Yeah.
and maybe there is some of that going into this with Demi, where like she's just, not as well trained as the other girls. And so she's not able to like manage her brand and her, public perception of herself as well. But I don't know.
There's
Um, Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's just that little bit of me that thinks of like that whenever they go into the press, and maybe they purposefully do not give them that training because they want them to pop off.
Right. Um, yeah, I'll have to think about that. Um, okay, I loved Leanne with her sunglasses in the hotel
Oh,
room.
yeah.
Taylor's mom, all of that
Yes.
was hilarious. Instant meme. That was really cute. Also, okay, Dakota and Jordan have like a weird friend.
Bromance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Jordan like looks up to Dakota somehow, and that makes me sick.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's not cute to me. Bromances are usually cute to me, but not that one.
You're ready for that one to be gone.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
especially for Jesse's sake. Okay, yeah, there's the conversation with Miranda, Demi, and Whitney. Um, and Miranda's like super brave during all this, like defending her baby daddy basically.
Yeah.
As Demi's like talking about that shove, push, whatever it was. We all saw it. It was like a poke. And like to be fair, like I would be like if somebody did that to me, like except for maybe my brother or something, like any other man did that to me, I would be offended. In that situation, like a guy like coming up and poking me in the stomach and like saying some kind of snide comment to me. Um, but it just sucks for Demi because she's trying to use that real disrespectful thing that happened to her, blow it way out of proportion, and then try to use it to like support her credibility for this, like, in my opinion, lie that she's told about Marciano. And it's like, it's, they show her like crying in the car afterwards after she's been like challenged on all that. And it's like, yeah, like, you're bringing up things that really did happen to you to try to support something that like is not, you don't have the right perspective on it at a minimum.
Hmm.
And so you're tarnishing your credibility even more, like going backwards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's really sad, honestly.
Yeah. That whole shove thing, I don't love it. I get it. I get her perspective. It was rude. It was disrespectful. I think the whole thing was blown out of proportion. I I get what you're saying with like, hey, if somebody came by and did that to me, like I would be offended. I would not be happy about it. Like, yes, it does that. I would not try to get my husband to go fight somebody over it. I would not call this a shove. I wouldn't like insinuate this to being like a physical assault. Like this is there is as a like as a woman, you have benefit of the doubt whenever it comes to physical stuff like that.
Yeah.
And whether that's right or wrong, that's a different story, but you have that. You have that benefit of the doubt. And whenever in situations like this you use that negatively and you're trying to like pump that up, like whenever that is not a case, like that hurts people, that ruins people's lives. Like if you once somebody hears, oh, he assaulted somebody, it doesn't matter if you get a video of what actually happened. Like that seed's already been planted. So I don't love that. And I do think that it was good for like kudos on Miranda for standing up for him, and I like baby daddy and all that. Like you don't want that type of stuff being said, regardless of what type of relationship you have, especially if you saw what happened and what transpired does not align with what's been, blown out of proportion. But I think that she blew it way out of proportion, and I agree with you completely that yes, this was a disrespectful thing that happened to her. Let's not take like I don't want to downplay that. It was disrespectful, shouldn't have been blown up, but using that to try to bolster your other claims, and you're using that exaggerated version, it does not help the other claims. It makes it even more so like, it, yeah, the unbelievable.
Yeah, the whole conversation had the effect of decimating her credibility
Yeah.
again,
I think that that's what I
even
was
more
going on.
so.
The
Yeah.
credibility, yeah, yeah, the credibility pretty much is gone whenever everybody is saying that is not a shove, and then you're
Hmm.
trying to loop it in and tie it back to other things to help boost up that. Like, nah, it's not working for you, honey.
Yeah, it's a shame. And it's like I don't even know if she's like fully aware of what she's doing. She's just like desperate. I think she it comes across to me like she has this like really codependent relationship with Brett. And it's like she's doing everything she can to protect Brett's image of her. And like and that's like her only focus. And I don't know, she's just like decimating her own credibility in the process.
It just gives me like that, the shove Halloween situation just gives me like damsel in distress vibes. Like
Mhm.
she's wanting somebody to come and make a big deal and stand up for her and rescue her, and like yeah, maybe that would feel good and maybe like that type of thing, like, but it just makes everybody look ridiculous,
It
like
does,
with
yeah.
like way ridiculous. So yeah.
That's when Philip and I actually like make this joke a lot. That's when Jordan, of course, gets caught up in it for
Mm-hmm.
no good reason at that stupid party with his stupid like Chippendales outfit on, and he's like up in Chase's ear, going like, "Take accountability right now." And so Philip and I say that all the time. We're like, "Take accountability now. Take
Yeah.
ownership now."
Yeah.
And it's just everybody looked ridiculous in that whole
Yeah.
scenario.
It's just, and it's also wild to me because like I remember having the conversation with Luke whenever like we first watched this, and I like showed it to him. I was like, "See, I'm like, there's a little piece of me that's like like oh, it would be so nice for somebody to like stick up." I'm like, that's not Luke. Luke is very much so the mellow, calm person. If somebody did that, like, there's no doubt that he would stick up for me, but it would be more of a, I think that it's time for us to leave. Like, we need to get
Yeah.
out of this. Like, it would, so I just like the fact that people that are not even involved are getting involved and getting fired up and getting heated. It's just wild and just too much testosterone. And yeah, like, and I'm, completely other side of like, hey, let's calm this down. I'm the fiery person of the two of us, and it's just it's funny watching that type of like this would never happen. Like this, like I don't get how people are just so. It just gives me like bro high school bro vibes that have no
Yeah.
yeah, like it just yeah, no. Grow up.
Yeah.
Grow
It's
up.
embarrassing. It's
Yeah.
literally so embarrassing. Yeah. Um, okay, and this is we already talked about Brett calling Miranda white trash. Um, mm. And then okay, the Taylor Whitney like scene where they're like they'll get ready and then they go on
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel together. What were your thoughts on all that?
I so at first I was a little bit torn, and my initial impression is different than my end impression. So my initial impression was like, Taylor, like, you didn't like Whitney, you're just doing all of this out of like you're trying to be like the mediator, and like there's things that you're not buddy buddy with her, but like you're just trying to be, the neutral party. And then it goes to this, and I don't want to say it felt fake, but because I do see the development in Taylor, um, over the seasons, and like how she's like working through and doing all of these different relationships and like trying to make them healthier. And like, so I don't want to say it seemed like that, but like there's part of me that's like, was she just caught at a really bad time with all of this other trauma that's going on, that like Whitney was there, and that was the person that she kind of latched onto and was able to like hype herself up? And or is this like truly the beginning of like a new friendship? And at the end of it, like the of my initial like train of thought with going into this of like how realistic is this? Is she just like, being fake, or is it real? But like at the end of it, I'm like, like this could be the stepping stone of, I could see, relationships growing. based off of the conversations and like how they treated each other during that interview and the playfulness that they had, and like Taylor saying like I see you as a friend, and then Whitney being like, oh my gosh, really, like that type of stuff. Like, so I thought that that was like a good, maybe like sneak peek into potential development for like their relationship. But yeah, like I said, like at the beginning, like I'm a little bit torn on how much of that is genuine and how much of it is like maybe a little bit of like she's going through some tough stuff right now. She's just trying to keep from falling apart on the show, and she has somebody there that she knows and is latching onto it, versus like this is a genuine like relationship that she's trying to build. And hey, maybe she's genuinely building the relationship, and just the catalyst of it is her needing somebody to be there for her with this trauma. Yeah, but I think that I'm leaning towards like maybe this is a good thing, maybe.
Yeah, that's my read on it. I think that um like yeah, maybe she went into the conversation first like with her kind of like mediator neutral hat on. But there was a moment in one of the talking head interviews where she looked into the camera and was like, I genuinely like Whitney.
Yeah.
And I believed her when she said that. And I'd also just seen some stuff from, rewatched some stuff from season one, where like the fallout between Taylor and Whitney in season one was really, it was on Whitney's end. Like Whitney was the one that like didn't show up to Taylor's baby shower,
Hmm.
and then they go on that trip. I can't remember where they were, Vegas or somewhere. And like Taylor is the one that goes to Whitney and is like, "Hey, it really bothered me that you didn't come to my baby shower, and now you're like telling people that we're not friends. Could you please explain that to me?" And that conversation ends up going really poorly because Demi crashes into it completely uninvited and like completely blows the whole thing up. But I think Taylor was really like genuinely trying to seek to understand like Whitney, like why are we not friends anymore? And like I think this moment was like actually really beautiful, like everything coming full circle, because I think Taylor has learned from therapy that like we're at our best when we're living in the present, you
Hmm.
know? And she found herself in this really exciting opportunity, like about to go on Jimmy Kimmel. Like, how could she have thought that she would ever be here?
Yeah.
And the person by her side is Whitney, and like
Yeah.
somebody that she's known for many years and used to be close with. And I think to Whitney's credit, she latched on to that, like being in the present energy, and they were able to like have a really great time together and not worry about like, oh, you said this about me in the past and you made this video about me and like all
Hmm.
that stuff. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think time will tell. And honestly, like my eyes on Whitney, because I believe that she's the one that's been shown to be less emotionally intelligent and mature.
Hmm.
Whether or not that relationship's gonna like actually continue to blossom or not. But I thought like it seemed pretty genuine to me. Another thing that I thought was really great was like Taylor was also really honest about how she was feeling. You know, like Whitney was like, I think asked her something like, "How are you? What's going on? You know, how are you feeling?" And she was, or how are you in Dakota or something like that. And she was like, "Terrible. Like I feel terrible. Like it's been really hard." You know, but she's like, I'm trying to be here in the present because this is such a cool thing I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree with you. I think that the leaning towards like at the end of it, like I do feel like it was more genuine, and I want to believe that it was like the beginning of like maybe something new, but I think that only time will tell, like you said. And yeah, I think that whenever you're doing something cool, even if you're not the best of friends, like beforehand, like it gives you something to bond over. It gives you something to be excited about because you have something new in common. Like,
hmm
look, we're doing this, we're together, we're having the same experience. Like, it's like it's a little bit of, I think that it was a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
back into the relationship.
Yeah. It's cute. It's good energy. I liked it. Um, then there's a scene of Jesse and Taylor talking about Dakota, and the quote I wrote down that really struck a chord with me was, "The last place I should be insecure about other girls is in my mom and dad's home." That broke my heart. What, what were your thoughts about all that?
It hurts way more with it being somebody that you're close to. Um, it's not fair for it to be somebody that's inside your inner circle that you consider your safe place.
Yeah.
Um, it throws everything on its head. It's not it's not right. It's not fair. And like I feel for her there because now it's kind of like that safe place has been damaged for her. It sucks because it involves the entire family. The entire family is involved now. I'm sure that there's a little bit of, I don't think that she said it on the episode, but I could see how there could even be like a little bit of guilt about this because like Dakota's there because of her and all of that, and like I could see that ending up being maybe a little bit more of the emotion, which would make it even harder. I'm not saying that she's to blame at all. Like I'm just saying like I like if putting myself in her shoes, like that's how I would feel, and I would have like the first degree of hurt, the second degree of hurt, the third degree of hurt. Like it would be like an onion that I'd be pulling back, trying to figure out, okay, wait, which part of this sucks the worst? What am I the most upset about? Like, I don't, yeah, I think that, and it would cause a lot of trust issues. I think that, like, she already has some. I think that this is just not great. And I feel so bad. It just sucks that it was how it ended up how it ended up. And then I don't know if we're going to talk about the phone call now or if you want to talk about that later.
Oh, the last scene where they call the
Yeah.
lady. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about it.
That just, nah, was not there for it.
Gross.
I'm
Ugh.
like, you were, the least you can do is own up. Like, they caught you. They're asking you point blank about it. If they're asking you point blank about it, they know. Just fess up. Tell them what happened. This is like, that made me even more frustrated for her because now she's got to deal with two liars.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so frustrated of like, look, like, for me personally, lying is like the worst thing that you can do. If you do something, tell me about it and I'm going to be a lot less upset. Like, I feel like that's the bare minimum amount of respect that you can pay somebody. And I am really sad for her that she couldn't even do that to her, like give her that she couldn't even give her the peace of mind of like, hey, yeah, this did happen. Like, okay, yeah, well, let me clarify, like, this may not be completely true, or actually, yeah, the picture was this, or like, okay, fine, like, you can do that, but like, don't point blank be like, what are you talking about? What relationship? Like, you, yeah, you're caught with your pants down, like, just fess up and explain it. So I feel that just made me really sad and upset for her.
Yeah. I mean, the only silver lining was I felt like Leanne, the mom, was
Mhm.
like great about it because I know that it was really hard on her. Like this person was clearly really close to her, and she's gonna have to cut this person out of her life, I feel like,
Mhm.
because it's so sickening how she's like, I sent him a swimsuit picture because I was in Florida. Like she's so in denial of like her own like nefarious
Mhm.
intentions and behavior. It's like this person is like completely delusional. And she said, I would have only invited him over to cry. LOL. Like,
Yeah.
that's so creepy. And especially like Taylor described it as like this person, there's a picture of them at like Thanksgiving or Christmas in a big group, and this person is right next to her and like touching her pregnant belly when she's like pregnant with Dakota's baby. And then is like, oh, I'm sending him swimsuit pictures and inviting him over to cry. and like won't just say like I was horny. Like, you know?
Yeah, it's gross, and it's even no, like no, even inviting them over to cry, no, like
No.
absolutely, like that is there is a line, and that is overly crossing it.
Why do you even have his number? You know? Like they're broken up. Like,
It's
why
not
are you texting him?
it's not like she's known this dude for ever and ever, and he's like ingrained in part of the family. Like it's not like that. Like it's gross. Like there's no reason for them to be in contact unless it's for, yeah, no, like
Like
that's,
babysitting logistics is like the only thing I can think of that makes sense. Like if she's really a close family member, like
yeah, emergency contact potentially. Like if something went wrong, if you can't get a hold of somebody, like okay, maybe,
yeah.
but I would still hope that would be pretty far down the list.
Yeah, it's messed up. Yeah. It Philip and I kind of talked about it because he watched this episode with me and he kind of had a theory that I kind of see where he's coming from that like this can be more like prevalent in like very sexually repressed societies. Like, you know, and like you would assume maybe like Utah Mormon culture would kind of be that way, where like people aren't allowed to be open about like, oh, like I like am attracted to this person and we're not married or like not getting married and you know like the sexual energy, you know, of like life basically is not acceptable to talk about. And Philip's theory was like, that's why she's so in denial that like she's crossing these major boundaries and she like actually like is telling herself that she has good intentions because she's not able to just like admit when she like is trying to get some, you know?
Okay, Philip. I mean, I think that is a that's a I think that's a good take. Maybe it's not explicitly intentionally lying, but more of repressed lying,
Mm-hmm.
of like not being able to admit it. But I don't know. I feel like Taylor's family is quite open about the whole, all of the sexual stuff, and it's very well known that Dakota is like, so I'm not sure if this person, being that she's so close, if they kind of share the same type of like thoughts around sex that everybody
Right.
else, or if she is like part of that traditional Mormon thought of like repressed. I don't know which one that but which bucket she lands in, or if she's somewhere in the middle. But like I could see it that way, and maybe give her a little bit of grace. But I don't know, the way that they were coming at her and addressing her and talking to it, and how blunt they were about it. I feel like that maybe it wasn't the repression.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Especially, yeah, you're right. I think Taylor, especially, and then like by default, like her family is
Mhm.
very open about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like if this woman was like actually family with them, like, you know, maybe she wouldn't have been this like type of repressed person. I think the reason that Philip's theory resonated with me is because I kind of have known people like that, like it,
Yeah.
like, especially in like the church, like abstinence only setting that I was raised in,
Hmm.
you know, like it's like a teenager thing to do in my mind to be
Yeah.
like, oh, like come over and study and like, you know, I didn't have any intentions, you know, but like you're putting yourself in a situation on purpose that if something happened accidentally, you know what I mean?
It's easier to shrug off and be like, oh well, like it started off as pure intentions, or it
Right.
that wasn't what we intended to do. It just blossomed and developed. Yeah, I agree with you. It sounds very much so. Well, we just went over to study, and then things escalate. Yeah, nah. Like I could. I mean, I think that Philip has a very valid point for the culture there. I'm not sure if it's necessarily maybe that case for this person, but I think it maybe. I don't think that she deserves any grace, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
but like, I think that that is a very good benefit of the doubt type of mindset to have in these type of situations. Not for this girl though.
Right. Yeah. And I wouldn't even call it benefit of the doubt because I think that we're responsible for our own repressions, and like if that was the case, like I don't think that makes her any less culpable. Like she's she's an adult. She should be aware of her desires.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
I want to know how old she is. I think that that's the part in my brain like I can't connect. Like whenever I was asking you, like, is it the mom's friend, as in like the mom's age, or the mom's friend's daughter, as in like Taylor's age? Like,
Yeah, that's I forgot to answer that. I don't know. I heard mom's friend
yeah,
and then it was like
Jim.
mom's friend from the gym. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then there was something that made me think she was younger. Like
yeah,
that she was Leanne's friend, but that she was like quite a bit younger than Leanne.
yeah.
But then I saw something else on some like social media or article or something that said, no, she's in Leanne's age cohort was the phrase. And I
Oh,
remember that phrase because it was very specific. And
okay.
so I'm like, I don't know if that's true or if this like impression that I can't like pin back to a specific fact is true that it's a younger woman.
Younger, yeah. I was getting,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't
I was
know.
I was getting the vibe that she was younger, but I mean, but again, I have not done any deep diving on anything else or have anything other than kind of like the pieces that I've put together from the show. But if she's older and if it's actually like the mom's friend and the mom's friend's age, like that's even more awful.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like Dakota, seriously. Like there is seriously no hole that you won't consider. Like like it's so gross.
Yeah. I yeah, it's just crazy, wild.
Um, yeah.
Is
Anything else
there
you want to Oh, go ahead.
as I say, is there nothing sacred? Like, is there nothing that is off limits for this man?
I don't think there is. I think he and like Taylor, I don't know if it's in this episode, but at some point she's like talking about his justification of it, where he's like, I'm so sorry, Taylor, but like I had no one. And it's like to him, it's like literally he's just like a blob of like longing and emotional immaturity, like looking for mommy, mommy with a hole for me. Like that's
No. And I mean, I'm like kind of thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm like, it's tiny bit hypocritical to be so harsh about it whenever, technically they weren't together and all of that. But at the same time, it's not even that they weren't together. Like it was that it was somebody that was close and that there was a lie about it. Because like
yeah,
at the end of the day, like his relationships when they're not together, like they're not her business. Like that's his relationships. But I think so. Like I don't think it's fair for if I think that she can be hurt that he lied about things, but if they weren't in a break or if they weren't, if it wasn't like explicitly like they're off, then I don't feel like she has as much of a right to be upset about any relationships that he's had. She can be upset about the lying, she can be upset about the deceit and him not coming forward and telling her about it, absolutely. But I think for this one, would she is it fair for her to be upset that he had a potential relationship with somebody that never amounted to anything? Not fair for her to be upset about that. Fair to be upset about it being a family member? Absolutely. That negates anything else, regardless if they were on a break, if they were together, whatever. Like, yeah, the family member that pushes it over the edge.
oh yeah, yeah. That's I was skeptical at first when they were like it's a family friend. I was like, y'all all like like Layla, dated Chase, and then now she's dating Chase's brother. Like,
Hmm.
like it's Utah. There's a lot of connections, and like
Yeah.
people, everybody knows each other. So at first I was kind of like, you're just mad that he's moving on with somebody again. Like this is Stagecoach part two. But
Hmm.
then the more I heard about it, it's like, no, this woman was like at their holidays and was like
Trusted. Yeah.
trusted and like at her baby shower and like all this kind of stuff. Like this was not okay. Um, Now I'm like, it does not matter if y'all were together or not. Like he
Yeah,
did that
absolutely.
because subconsciously he's trying to sabotage a future with you, and like you should let him.
Well,
Like, yeah.
and it really makes me wonder what else is going on that he refused to do any of the baby blessing stuff. And I know that that's a little bit further in the episode, but like he refused to go to that, to do that, like refused to be on the show if they talked about anything. Like that makes me wonder what the heck is going on that we don't know about.
That's a really good question. Yeah, my read on that was like I was a little confused, and I was like, I guess maybe he's trying to just like keep this story from coming out or something. Like maybe he thought that there was a chance that like production would cut the storyline if he like protested enough or something. I don't know. I got a little bit confused by that, but it made me feel like, wow, this is really like how the patriarchy works in the Mormon church. Like he can actually like over something ridiculous that it's 100% his fault, he can be like withhold the baby blessing
That
unilaterally,
and that like that's why I'm reading into it as there's some there I feel like there's a little something something extra going on in the background
Okay.
because he is taking his baby to church. He's doing
Hmm.
all of this stuff. I would assume that this baby blessing is important. Like it's important to their culture, it's important to all of this. Taylor's, living in the gray. She's wanting, to like be part of certain parts of the Mormon church. And like, this is something that she wants. I would assume, considering that this is a big thing in their, religion, that this would be something that he would absolutely be wanting and pushing. And the fact that he blocked it, like, that to me is kind of like, wait a second, why would you block your baby's blessing? Like,
Yeah.
what? And so, like, that makes me be like, the fact that, like, he wasn't, like, he wouldn't do that and wouldn't agree to that, like, that's wild. Um, I feel like, and maybe this is speculation, but like, would they only do the blessing on camera? I don't know. Like, could they have done the blessing and he's just like, I'm not going because it's going to be on camera. I'm not doing it. If she had said, it's important for him to be blessed, like, you need to be there and camera crew's not going to be there. Like, if he had done it, I don't know. But like, the fact that he was so adamant that the baby couldn't get blessed, I think that that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, if everything is as innocent as he says that it was, also, why would he want so bad for it to not come out? Like, that's the other part is like, yes, it was Taylor's family, like, close family member. That's trash of him to do. It's terrible. But like, if you're looking at it singularly, it's not that bad. He only sent some text messages and got not nude photos. Like,
Yeah.
why is he trying so hard to protect that story? Like, I feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my brain overthinking, but I feel like that is a very strong and visceral reaction for something that he is claiming is not, that didn't go anywhere, that he was embarrassed about, that he was ashamed of, that he backtracked and said that he wasn't going to do it and he wasn't going to do anything. Like, I just feel like that his reaction is not proportionate to what I was expecting, like, his reaction to be, because he's been on the show with all these other like scandals that he's been through, but this is the one that is going to prevent him from blessing his baby. Like,
No, I don't think you're overthinking at all. Yeah, no, I think you're very on track because like he's not been shy about being on camera. Like they show him and Taylor in the bed, like in this season, like looking at pictures, like, oh, I look good in that one. I look good. You look good in that one. Like he enjoys the attention of the show.
hmm
And so for him to throw up his hands now, he's not the type of man that's like, this is sacred. It shouldn't be on camera. No.
no, yeah.
Um, and then for him to say, like it's also like you look back on season 2 when Taylor and Dakota's relationship blows up over that girl Jenna and his lies about what he did with her. It was like it went from like nothing happened with her to, well, we met up, to, well, we kissed. And then she comes in and tells the bombshell that like not only did we do like more than kissing, he told me that the only reason he was dating you was for clout and Instagram followers. And the sound that Taylor makes when that girl tells her that, the pain that she makes, she sounds like an animal. It's like the saddest thing if you go back and watch it. Um, and it's like after that, you can't trust anything he says about any woman, right? Like you
hmm
you just can't. And even if it wasn't with this woman, it's like what other family members has he been hitting on that he's afraid will come out? Like what like you said, it's just like you I don't know. I hope that this is the end for them is the bottom line because he cannot be trusted and um he does not take accountability for his actions.
hmm Yeah,
Episode 10. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Okay, first it opens with Taylor's dad talking about Dakota. That was I was like I have whiplash a little bit from that because Taylor's dad was the one that was like obsessed with Dakota in season 2 and acting like he hung the moon. So gross. And now he's on Taylor's side.
Yeah.
So I guess that's good. But what were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that he was Team Dakota, and I don't know if it was maybe like there's a little bit of me that maybe thinks that he was Team Dakota because of like maybe traditional gender roles and him being part of the family and him being the man and the father of her child and like all of that, like wanting that to be like what happens and like maybe that's part of it. And now that he has evidence and concrete proof that he's a trash bag of a human being, like he can turn on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I it was very odd. But that's my kind of thought on it. Is like maybe now he's like okay, because I think that Taylor was saying in the last episode that like it hurt, like Dakota hurt her mom, which in turn hurt her dad. Like
Mm-hmm.
it said, and it was honestly I thought it was a little bit odd the way that they said it, and not like Dakota hurt me and my mom, which in turn hurt my dad and made my dad upset. Like it was very much so connected. Like the dad is sad because the mom is sad,
Right.
and
Right.
not because his daughter is sad.
I think I didn't even like pick up on that, but I think that is really telling.
Yeah.
That language is weird. Yeah, because um, Taylor, I think it's actually her adopted dad or maybe stepdad or something. Like I don't think that's her biological father.
Right, but she was like raised with him though, if I'm understanding things
Yeah.
correctly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but like for her to like parse out the language that way makes it seem like maybe emotionally she doesn't feel fully accepted by him as her as his daughter.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
maybe that's not his fault. Maybe that's just her impression,
hmm
and that's where maybe some of this wound comes from. Um, that leads her to like act like this with Dakota and everything. But like, um, I remember feeling like her family is betraying her in season 2, the way that
hmm
they were all like inviting Dakota over and like I think you're right. I think he was motivated. The dad was motivated by like I want her to have a husband. Like I want her to have like a male supporting person, and
Yeah.
like Dakota's the father, and he's a charming guy, so maybe he kind of like won the dad over at some point, and then the dad's like, just marry him, you know. But like I think Taylor felt like unseen and unloved and not validated in that situation. And so I was like, and I felt that for her. And so when he comes back and he's all of a sudden like, oh, well, Dakota's hurt my wife now, so fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I would have loved to see the dad come around and be like, hey, I'm really sorry that I even like pushed him on you ever. Like, I was wrong, you
Yeah.
know?
No, yeah, I agree. And I do, and I think that they even said in one of the episodes, like whenever she came out as pregnant, like that they were embarrassed or something like that. I think her family like said words like that and like pretty much called her a slut type of thing, like at the table. Like, so I think that maybe the reason why he was so gung ho on Dakota is because like maybe it makes it like a little bit, the situation a little bit less shameful
Right.
or whatever. Like, there are multiple of them that have gotten married and or have gotten divorced because they got pregnant
Hmm.
of the of the in the show. So like maybe if that was kind of like he was trying to really push that because that's what's expected in their community, and kind of trying to turn a blind eye to everything else because hey, a man is better than no man type of thing.
Right. And it's like, from Taylor's perspective, it's like, okay, so a man is better than no man, no matter how bad he treats me, no
Yeah,
matter how like horrible and like painful our relationship is, until that man does something that affects your wife.
yeah, yeah,
And so I can see her being like, this is like pouring salt on her original wound of like feeling like she doesn't matter to her dad. Um, because it's like, my pain doesn't matter. Your wife's pain does because you married her, but like, I'm not really your daughter because my pain is like
less than.
insignificant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah. So I think that's really sad. But I at least he has come around, and is like on her side now. Um, so the next scene that I have written down is Demi talking about. She says, "I'm jealous of Taylor because she's been given grace, but it's because I'm not as vulnerable and open as she is. I have more trauma that I could talk about." And I was like, oh, Demi, like she's basically like telling the producers and the camera, like, I can be more of a victim if that's what you guys want. Like, and I'm like, that's not the way. That's not the way, Demi.
yeah. No, yeah, that's very pay attention to me and nah. I agree. I didn't like that. That's not how you do it. It's not. Yeah, that's I don't. I feel like that's a little bit more of like victim mentality of like, hey, I can dig up some more stuff to talk about. Like I can, like no,
People want to see her take accountability and take ownership of her life and her own choices and judgment. And people don't want her to go, like, don't criticize me, please. I have trauma. Like, that's not
not
what
it.
people want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that people give Taylor more grace because she at least tries and has like seen the error of her ways or has apologized or is open about why she's acted certain ways, and like I think that that's part of a communication. Whenever you're talking to somebody, if you explain to somebody what's going on, they're much more likely to like understand you and like give you, more grace, give you, support and doing all of that. Like if you are being just rude all the time, then I'm not going to be happy with it. I'm not going to like it. But if you're rude all the time and you tell me that it's because something terrible had happened and you're just not in the right headspace, then I'm going to be like, hey, compartmentalize in my brain, they're acting this way because they have other stuff going on. And I'm going to,
Yeah.
give you, I don't want to say give you a pass, but like, I understand. Like, I'm not going to hold it against you type of thing. So I think
Yes.
that's why. That's why she gets more graces if she's open and honest. But whereas you have another person who won't take accountability for anything and won't own up to anything and just, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like going around causing more damage to other people constantly. Yeah, it's a shame. Okay. Um, so okay, the next scene is Whitney wants to be friends again with everybody. Um, she literally uses the words love, support, empowerment. And I said, I have whiplash, Whitney. I literally wrote that down. I think you said that earlier about something else. But yeah, I had that written down because I'm like, okay, this is totally different from like literally 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I'm in it for the business and I don't care about any of these friendships. And now she's wanting friendships. But I mean, like, I put on there, I give her props for being mature to try to have the conversation with everybody. Like, I'll give her that. But with her already saying what she said a few episodes ago, and now that she got what she wanted for why she's going back into mom talk, it makes the whiplash a little bit harder on, like, yeah, so
You mean like that she got Dancing with the Stars?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's that. And then also, I think Whitney has Demi to thank for all of this because Demi is such a bigger villain to
Hmm.
compared to Whitney. Um, I think that is like why Whitney's able to come back in and have some grace,
Yeah,
and like save face a little bit because it's like Demi is so much worse.
I will be honest. At the beginning, I think that I don't remember who was having the conversation, but one of them said like, like what if like they try to get back in, like will we let them in, like that sort of stuff. And I was thinking whenever they were talking about that, I was like, heck no, like don't let either of them back in. They're both terrible. And like now, after the last like 3-ish episodes, I was like, okay, like I could see a world that maybe they let Whitney back in. Like, and I think that that is absolutely true what you're saying. I think that the reason my brain flipped like that is because Demi is the villain. Like she is the
Hmm.
bad one. It's making Whitney not look as bad. I go back to my saying of like not everybody needs to be friends, but that's a whole separate thing. But yeah, no. So, yeah, whiplash.
Yeah, love, support, empowerment. Okay, Whitney, this is the fourth, fifth time that you're coming back to Mom Talk after ghosting everybody, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other thoughts you have on the baby blessing?
I just still think that it's crazy that he somehow blocked it, and I think I that would be something that I would like to see more behind the scenes of what that conversation looked like.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, and I'm not saying it's a right or wrong, but there is part of me that wonders like if this is so important to them for to get the baby blessing, like could they have not like could they have not done it on screen? Like, or was this important enough to Taylor where she's like, it has to be on screen, it has to be recorded? I don't know. That's another thing that was kind of playing in my brain is like maybe not that Dakota gets any slack for any of it, but I'm just like I just feel like it's wild that he didn't give the baby blessing. I think that's just crazy. I also think that it's absolutely. I mean, no disrespect, but I think it's absolutely crazy that it's so patriarchal and that like the man has to be the one to give it.
Yeah.
It gives
Yeah.
I don't like that, but that's my opinion.
It just puts a really weird power dynamic in a lot of like family situations. And it like is premised on the idea that like men are going to be like noble and like respectful and have their family's best interests at heart at all times, and that the like nuclear family is going to always stay intact. But
Yeah,
it's like when you have a religion like Mormonism that like goes, mainstream as it has in Utah, you're not going to have every single family that like subscribes to that religion that's going to like work out. Like people have problems, people are people, like stuff happens. And when everything's like set up in that very patriarchal way, it's it leads to unfair outcomes,
Yeah.
Like
I just don't, I don't like that. I don't think it's fair. I think that's a good perspective of like, it was kind of rooted in the man as kind of like the patriarch of the family, the one that's the protector, taking care of it. It's going to always be that way. They're always going to be there for their family, like always going to be like the solid part of, the whatever you want to call it, like the base, the strong base of building blocks. Like I get that, but like it's times have changed. Um, I yeah, I think that that's just a fundamental issue that I have with how kind of they frame gender roles in the family, and I feel like they give more value to men than they do to women. And but
and they have a much lower standard for men than they have for women.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's not fair.
it just makes me sad that his permission was needed to get the baby blessing. And there's a little part of me that's like, I feel like every religion wants to bless all the babies.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised that they wouldn't do it if the mom was asking. Like, I want
Yeah.
you to bless my baby. Like, I think that it's kind of crazy that the dad has to be the one to ask. Because, like, if I went to a church tomorrow and was like, here's my baby, I want to bless it, they'd be like, okay, great. Like, like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's like, I feel like, I don't know. Maybe that's
It's
just me.
like the more the merrier. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, give
like we
out
want all
blessings for
babies to
free.
be blessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So,
really strange.
very odd.
Yeah. Um, okay, so the next scene is Jesse and Jordan. I wrote that he's kind of talking at her in this scene. And honestly, I'm like blanking on where they were exactly, but I think this is just supposed to be the scene that like resolves like kind of where they are.
Hmm.
Um,
They were like in their like pseudo living room type thing. I remember.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like resolving the 90-day separation thing. Um, and yeah, I just felt like I don't know, he just rubs me the wrong way. And I saw him on Vile Files, the podcast. I don't think the like actual whole interview drops until tomorrow, but they like released a few clips of it, and I feel like Nick Vile does a really good job of like pushing him on it because he's like he can't just say like, yes, the way that I treated Jesse was awful. It was wrong. I've changed. I'm going to continue to change. I understand that like I was verbally abusing her and I never ever am going to do that again. Period.
Hmm.
He always has to be like say all that but then be like, but what she did was inexcusable. But what she did. And there's another part in the podcast where Nick is like, do you forgive Jesse for what happened with Marciano? And Jordan's like, 100% right now. And everybody kind of laughs because Jesse's there too. She doesn't like speak during this part, but she just kind of laughs. And I think she actually just kind of interjects and is like, right now, but like tomorrow, we don't know. And Nick like pushes him on it a little bit. And he's like, well, you know, I just, as long as I see that like efforts being made on her part, I can forgive her. And like every day, like as long as she's like trying really hard and I've seen her do that. So I forgive her. But it's clear that his idea of forgiveness is like it doesn't ever like just end and then you start anew. It's like you have to continue to act a certain way and like do what he wants you to do basically in order to earn forgiveness every day. It
Yeah. I
was
don't,
crazy.
that's like weaponized. Like,
Yeah.
if you do something wrong, if you mess up, then I'm going to bring back every single thing. Like, I feel like that's like laundry listing all the things that have gone wrong, and just one slip up and I'm going to be angry about all these things all over again. Like that is not, that's so unhealthy.
Yeah, and like that's the vibe I was getting in this conversation too, where it's like he's not like trying to understand her. He's trying to control her. And it's like, I'll forgive you as long as you continue to do what I want you to do, you know?
Yeah, and what you said that like you feel like she was getting talked at, I absolutely see that. I did kind of feel, not sure if that's how like the angle was, the camera or whatever, but I felt like there was a bit of a blank glaze, like a blank stare.
Hmm.
Not a whole lot of like the engagement, the leaning in, the like she was there, but I don't know. There was a part of me that felt like maybe she just wasn't that into it.
Hmm.
So, and I remember on a previous episode, she was like, well, if it was up to him, we would already be back together.
Hmm.
So, like, the fact that, like, you're saying that he mentioned that on another podcast. So, essentially, to me, that's like weaponizing, like, an incident, not trying to move past it. And he's the one that's really pushing to get back together. Like, that just, it doesn't give me hope
Yeah,
that their relationship is going to improve.
same. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt with this conversation. I think it was intended to make you feel like they were all good. And I think he wanted it to be that.
yeah.
But that's not, I didn't come away with it going like, oh, they're all good now. Another thing that was crazy that I saw today is that I didn't realize back in like season two or like right after season two, Jessie went on a podcast and said somebody asked her, "Would you want your daughter to marry someone like Jordan?" And she said no.
That's sad. That give me chills. That's sad.
And apparently, like, I didn't see the clips or anything yet, but apparently tomorrow when they drop the interview on Vile Files with Jordan, he talks about that and he's like butthurt about that. Um, and I'm just like, that's the whole thing for me, dude. Like, why don't you think you deserve what your daughter deserves? You know?
I think that that should be a wake up call for him, for Jordan. I think that should be a huge wake up call because I feel like if we had a daughter and I didn't want her to marry somebody like Luke, I that would break his heart.
Oh my God, I can't
Like
imagine.
yeah, and I feel like that would be a huge wake up call of like, well, why don't like what am I not doing good enough, or like can I do better to be the man that my daughter deserves? Like I that's just it makes me sad for her because yes, if you don't think if you think that your daughter deserves better than you, like maybe that should be an indication of like maybe you should get out of this relationship and find something that fits better. But I think if anything, it should be a really big wake up call for him and not just something new for him to get mad about.
For sure. I guess I just don't have any faith in him at all. Like, I'm like, he's just going to take that as like criticism and because it is. And he's going to like try to just like resist it in any way he can and like defend himself from it.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
so maybe that's just me being pessimistic about him. The way I look at it, and I think this is has been like something that's developed with me in the past few months, just like finding out that I'm having a little girl. My mindset has changed a lot from like my idea of parenting used to be like, oh, you like make sacrifices for your kid and like you want them to have better than what you have and like you diminish yourself in order to like lift them up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my especially having a girl, I feel like my mindset has started to change where it's like my daughter's not gonna like listen to what I tell her. She's not gonna be like if I'm like, in a like for me it was my job. I hated my job, and like it was super depressing and everything, but in my mind I was like, I'm doing this to make money and save money for my kid. But then I started to think about it and ask myself that question, like, what would I want her to do if she was in my position? Because she's not going to listen to me. She's not going to come to me and be like, "Hey mom, like what should I do in this situation?" Like, at least not for a really long time. She's just going to watch what I do and how I treat myself, and then she's going to do it. And it's like, if Jessie stays in this relationship with Jordan and she still feels that way, that she's like, still would not want my daughter to marry someone like this. It's like you're setting your daughter up to marry someone exactly like that.
It's like little too little. Oh, I mean, it's never too late, but if she's already seeing how she's being treated, that's already being ingrained in her mind.
And
And
she's
that's
seeing that you're accepting it and you're
yeah.
tolerating it and you're allowing it to continue.
Yeah.
And in her mind, it's like you're her role model and you're the example of like the best she can hope for herself, especially when she's like in her, teens and early 20s. It's like that's when you make all the same mistakes that your parents make, and it's like if you stay with that man, like that she's going to end up in the arms of someone exactly like him, and it
And
doesn't matter what you say.
I think that and I think at that point it's really hard to untrain your brain on like how you deserve or who you deserve and like all of that. So yeah, I think that sometimes religion can get tricky whenever it comes to marriages and staying together and all of that to the detriment of the family.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'm not saying all the times. But I do think that there are some situations that like maybe being together is not what's best for the individual, spouses or for the kids. And like obviously that's worst case scenario and that sucks. And like personally for me, like that is in my eyes like not an option. Like that would be a lot of work that we need to do and therapy we need to do and all of that. But like at the end of the day, like once kids are involved, like it makes things so much harder. And I think that maybe they have that stigma of like maybe not getting divorced, or if they've already been divorced, you can't be divorced like two times or three times, or like maybe that's a reason why they stay in it longer. I don't know, but like I think that some of these, if you're seeing this isn't working, if you are trying to have these open and honest conversations with them about it and it's not working and they're not changing, then I think that there's a point where you may need to take a step back and really see if it's something that you need to be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that for Jessie's sake and for her daughter's sake, she figures it out, and like if she stays with Jordan, I really hope she can truthfully, honestly, from the bottom of her heart answer yes to that question. Um, because
Yeah. Gosh, that's so
that's
sad.
super sad. Um, so okay, then we see the whole like um mom talk meeting where everybody like apologizes.
Yeah.
Um,
I have thoughts
s-
on that.
yeah, let's hear it.
I swear every single season there is a mom talk meeting, at least one mom talk meeting, and it never gets better. Like it's still a cluster. Like it never gets better. I'm like, yay, they're doing like whenever they said like, oh, we're gonna have this meeting, I'm like, they're gonna have another meeting, it's gonna go nowhere again. Like it's just a perpetual cycle of them having these meetings and trying to have these heart to hearts and then everybody's still not meshing or not getting along. I did think it was. I think that they had like a stick the last meeting too, but I did think that that was at least a little bit of comedic relief with the Barbie that they had for
Yes.
talking. But like, Yeah, I don't know. I put on my thing the first impression whenever Demi went up there, not impressed with like her comment, like opening the circle. Like, it was like zero sort of accountability for what she had done, for what she wants. It was just like the most generic. I type into ChatGPT what to say when opening up a confession friend circle. Like, it just didn't feel heartfelt. It didn't. It was not conducive of a healing dialogue, in my
Sorry,
opinion.
I missed who you said this was.
Demi,
Demi. Yeah.
yeah, Demi
Yeah, totally agree. Demi had an opportunity here and she just
blew it.
failed
Yep.
completely, blew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I was impressed by Whitney.
Okay. Yeah.
I had written down earlier in the episode, I was like, when I heard about this concept of the meeting again, like you said, like they have every season and it never works. I was like, I feel like Whitney's getting all hyped up and she's like, peace and love, like we're gonna make this meeting happen, and she's gonna get the mic, and then she's gonna completely make a fool of herself, like RSV video style. Um, but she didn't. I thought
Yeah.
she did a pretty good job. And again, I was like, you're really being helped out by the fact that Demi is here and she sucks so bad.
Makes anybody look good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree
you're
with you.
but it does seem to have stuck, at least based on social media. That is like the one productive thing I think from the meeting is like even Michaela has come around on Whitney, and is like supporting her on social media and stuff. So it seems like Whitney is like back in for now, and like that is for the time being sticking. Um, but to me, it was just an absolute failure. She pulls Taylor aside at the beginning, and I did think it was good that she apologized for the way she talked to Taylor's mother,
Hmm.
in season 2.
Yeah.
Um,
And that she said
and
she wanted to talk to her as well, which I thought props on that.
yeah, I was like, that's good. That is very big of her. Um, and then she said, I don't know, she started talking about her brother with Down syndrome, and I felt like that started to go in a weird direction. I was like, you're blaming this on the fact that your brother had Down syndrome, like, uh
Uh,
I didn't like that.
that's the extra trauma that she mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not saying that that's not
No.
valid,
No, no, no. Yeah, I know.
um, but it's like it's just not a good time to bring it up, you
Yeah.
know? You should
Yeah.
just apologize and move on.
Yeah.
Um,
Justifications during an apology kind of negate the apology. All that.
right.
Yeah.
Right. It just wasn't the right time, and it was
Yeah.
I didn't feel like Taylor was like asking her like what made you be this way, you know?
Yeah.
My read on that conversation was I don't think Taylor likes her very much. I do think she likes Whitney because um I think Whitney is very self-aware. She's not others aware, but she's
Yeah.
very self-aware. I think Demi is neither. She's not self-aware and she's not others aware. And I think Taylor is like ick about that. um let's see. Oh, Jen. I was really impressed by Jen talking about having a victim mentality. I thought that was really big of her to like admit that because I kind
Hmm.
of see that in her sometimes. Um, and it's really hard for somebody with a victim mentality to admit that they have a victim mentality, but she did. And I was like, that's really impressive.
I think that her stepping away for a while to work on herself and get her head straight, I think that that was a good idea, and I think that that helped a lot because I know that last season she was a hot mess express, and yeah, so um, I think that this is good. It was good for her, and I feel like she did change in this season, and yeah, so I think that she's grown.
Yeah, I thought, it could have gone either way with season 2 with Jen because she stepped away and it was like at a moment where it kind of could have been interpreted as her running away.
Hmm.
Um, and just like refusing to take accountability.
Hmm.
But it was like, and I remember Demi was like super rude about it. She was like, you know, basically just like, I don't think that Jen actually has mental health problems, basically. And like, she's just doing this to avoid accountability. And I was like, that's a possibility, but the jury's still out. Like, you got to like wait till she comes back to really know the truth.
Yeah.
And I feel like, she's shown a lot of growth. So I
Yeah.
think it wasn't just her like trying to escape accountability.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Michaela talking about how her protective instincts like made me cry. Like it was so sweet. Um, yeah, anything else you want to say about the meeting?
I mean, no, I mean, I think only time will tell how this powwow circle ends up working out for all of them. But I think that some of them, I don't feel like, I feel like in some of the other powwow circles that they've had, um, people have like blown up and things have gotten immediately worse in them, and like arguments have been had. And I feel like at least for this one, there wasn't that. I feel like it was
Sure.
kind of more of a civil one, which I mean, I think that is good. Again, we'll see how that ends up working out long term. But I was waiting for, okay, when is it going to hit the fan? And
Yeah.
it didn't. So
Yeah. I kind of felt that way too. And it did feel like I felt validated because I had written down it's giving Mean Girls.
yeah,
And then Macy brought up like 2 seconds later that it felt like Mean Girls, like the scene where it's like everybody's like jumping into the arms of everybody else and like trust falling and
yeah,
rainbows and butterflies and all that. Like it was cute.
yeah,
So yeah, and I agree. Whitney, like she's literally like on a skyrocket of success right now. She's going to be in um, New York playing Roxy on Broadway in the musical Chicago
yeah,
next year. So like she has good reason to ghost people or like to not be very available during that time. Like I totally like understand that, but it'll be interesting to see if like something happens and she just like ghosts everybody again because she's done it 4 times now after being let back in. So we'll see.
yeah. And I think that that's a hard thing that I have for me, because it's they talked about like, oh, letting people back in and like, would we ever let it happen? And I feel like with the wishy-washy back and forthness of it, I would lean on no, but I wouldn't make that no be no, we hate her, she's not our friend. I would just
Right.
say like, okay, maybe you can be a guest star and not part of the core group, because we don't know what your plan is next week, next month, next, like, you're not, you've got a lot of other stuff going on. And I think that that's something that they could probably spin in a positive light of like, we still love you, we still want to be your friend and all of this, but like, as for the core group, you've got other stuff going on, and right now we just need a little bit of stability to not, mess up the dynamic. Like
Yeah.
I feel like she may kind of throw a wrench in that.
Yeah, and like maybe ultimately that's a really good role for Whitney to be in, like that's actually sustainable, is like
Yeah,
she clearly has other goals that she wants to focus on, and I think she should. And so maybe that's the best thing for everybody is that she just kind of helicopters in. I just want it to be like in a friendly goodwill way, and
yeah,
I'm tired of seeing her like leave and like be passive aggressive and you know avoidant about everybody and like leave everybody in confusion.
yeah. I think that some of these girls have problems with like, there's like some friends that I have, for example, like I don't see them for months or a year, and then whenever I meet with them again, like it's like no time's passed, like everything is
Yeah.
good. And like I think that if they can just kind of like keep that type of thing of like, hey, she has her own life, she's doing stuff, but whenever she's back in, let's not like, everything just kind of like, don't take it personally that she's busy. Like, know that she's got other stuff. Like, I think if they can kind of help compartmentalize those two different lives and things, I think that it would be less drama. And I think that if it was kind of an understanding of like, she's not part of the core group, she comes in like whenever she's able to, like, then that's going to be a whole lot less drama because they're not going to be like, this is so wishy washy. We don't know what her intentions are. We don't know. Like, the intentions are clear. She's got other stuff. Like, that would be that's how I would probably spin it. And that's how I would probably introduce her not back into the group. I don't know if like that makes sense, but like honorary member.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and, like, now that she actually does have stuff going on, it's like that would make sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, yeah. Before we get to the last scene of Taylor and Chase, um, I just wanted to point out something that Jordan said at the baby blessing, which gave me the creeps. He's talking about Dakota and he's talking to Taylor, and they have the weird
Yeah.
Jordan Dakota bromance where they like dress alike and like all that weird crap. Um, and he's the one that told Jesse and set the whole thing in motion about the like Dakota's like having the fling with Leanne's friend. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like the one that's like started all of this. But he says to Taylor, if anything else comes out, I would be furious for you. And I just feel like that language is so creepy and weird because it implies that like whatever has already happened is not enough for him to already be furious with Dakota. He's like, I'm chill with Dakota and like all of his choices, and I don't think he wronged you. But if anything else came out, I would be mad for you.
But he's
Like,
weaponizing his forgiveness against his wife.
yeah,
Let's look at. Yeah, no, I didn't catch that, but I think that that is wild, and I think that that phrasing is a little bit also concerning because if he's best buddies with Dakota, if anything else comes out, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that like it sounds a little bit thready. Like there could be other stuff, and I'm already kind of suspecting that there may be other stuff. But
you were, yeah. And
yeah,
it like, I guess Dakota tells Jordan all of his little secrets now. So yeah, maybe that's half of it too. It's like he knows there's something.
it's just Dakota will wait until the next press event.
Right. Make sure it's timed perfectly to like sabotage Taylor
Yeah,
right before she has a big career moment. Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh, awful. Okay, so the Taylor and Chase thing, I was like, what is going on?
Two
What
thumbs
is
down.
happening? I'm like, Miranda, my main question is Miranda okay with this? Because that's her baby daddy. Are they
She
gonna
just
do a three-way situation? Like, I'm just like, what is going on?
she just needs to take a step back. I think that it's super weird that they met up solo. I Yeah, I feel like that's super weird. I think her flirting, it made me super uncomfortable. Like wildly
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I'm like, this gives me bleh vibes. Like, yeah, I don't know if she's planning on what her plans are, but the whole, oh, do you want to kiss? Like, I was like, oh, no, please don't. Like, just take a minute to yourself. Just leave the boys alone. Just focus
Yeah.
on yourself. Like, I feel like she's one of those girls, and I think that she's kind of mentioned it and alluded to it, is like she can't be alone. Like she can't not have somebody there. And I think that she just really badly right now needs to not. Or if she is, for it to not be somebody that is going to make things problematic. Like don't do somebody like don't get with somebody messy. Like this is messy. It's in the friend group. It's messy. Find a stranger.
It's the messiest possible person, I feel like. Like he's the one that like he broke up her first marriage, like because they like had a thing outside of the bounds of their swinging arrangement.
Yeah. No.
Um, yeah, it's majorly messed up. And the way he just casually dropped in, like after they're already at dinner, he's like, "Oh yeah, me and Kate broke up earlier this week." Like, I was like, "Ugh,
That was the other thing. And I was like, dude, you just broke up with a girl and you're already, and because he's like, and she broke up with me. I'm
yeah,
like, talk about rebound. Like, what the heck? Like, take a moment. Like,
insanity."
yeah, no, I don't. And like, I feel like if he had an apology to give with everything going on and with how screwed up all of their relationships are and how muddy everything and how blurry all these lines are, I don't normally say that an apology should be over the phone, but I think in this situation, an apology over the phone would have been good enough.
100%. An
Like,
apology in front of some other people if you can't do it over the phone, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Besides just like you guys at this like romantic little restaurant and the cameras, like
And calling it a date, ew.
ew, talking about kissing, ew. And it's like literally, Taylor, you just freaked out because like a close family friend of yours was messing around with your baby daddy. And now, Miranda, you're having dinner with her baby daddy, like, and talking to him about kissing and dating and stuff.
No,
What?
and I was very disappointed in her actions on that final scene. I was like, and the fact that she was playing into it made me sad. Like, the fact that she was flirting with him and being like, "So you want to talk about what you said at the gym that one time?" Like, I'm just like, oh no. Have
Yeah.
you have you not been through enough the last however long it's been? Can we just? It's
Yeah.
weird.
It's really weird. And it was just like jarring. It was a weird way to end the season, I feel like,
Yeah,
because it's just like a bunch of questions. But I'm sure they're going to talk about it at the reunion. So hopefully we get some closure. I really hope that maybe like, maybe they just had like a little like swingers reunion, her and Miranda and Chase or something. Like that would be the best case scenario that like, because my main concern is just like is Miranda going to be okay, you know?
yeah. My brain wants to say she laughed and said, "No." That's what my brain wants to say happens because she does not need that. She doesn't need the extra drama in her life. Like if she gets rid of Dakota, then things will finally, for a little while at least, be relatively smooth sailing. And like, I think that she needs that, and I think that she could benefit from some peace.
Yeah, I think she needs to like actually grieve Dakota
Yeah,
and like what she hoped that would be. And I think it's just, and it's like a rebound is not always a bad thing, but why does it have to be him? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Make it a stranger. Don't make it messy.
yeah. I guess she is filming The Bachelorette right now. So I guess she's dating like 25 guys or something right now. So
Hey,
hopefully that is enough of a distraction that she doesn't do something stupid with Chase.
oh my gosh, watch there be midway through the show that they bring in an ex-husband of some of her friend one of her friends to be as the bachelor. I could see it happening.
I could too, honestly. I was like, there's no way they go the whole season and they don't bring Dakota on too, like for something.
Dude.
We'll see.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. A couple more months for that. A few more months.
So, anything you want to say for what I wish I could say?
I think I said it again with Taylor. Like, just take a moment to yourself. Like, don't get with any boys and just focus on you.
Yeah,
Kudos for the other girls trying to open up and trying to make things a little bit smoother. But yeah.
yeah. I think I'm going to talk to Taylor's dad.
Okay.
Sir,
You
you
suck.
need to show. Taylor, that you love her and that you care about her feelings and that her pain and her joy and her happiness all matter to you on their own right and not just because she's your wife's daughter. Um, you have provided for her, I'm sure, in a lot of ways, and I'm sure she's really grateful for that. But this is what she needs more than anything else. So please step up and give that to her so that she can stand on her own and she can turn some of these creep boys down.
I think that that is a really good thing to say. I think that he definitely needs to hear that. And I don't know, there's part of me that's really hoping that maybe it's maybe just how she was thinking and just how she said it in the moment, but it makes me sad for her if that's the truth and how she really feels or how it really is. But hopefully things will change.
Yeah, I think he seems like he's a nice man and like he
Yeah.
probably if he knew and understood what she needed, he would want to give it to her. But I think that it's not about like what's right or wrong or like how much he's done or tried to do or whatever. It's about how she feels. And I just don't think she feels like he loves her the way she needs to be loved.
Yeah. I think that's, yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Um, I guess adios.